in case the league does not happen, what kind of a massive financial impact that clubs will face, especially from your perspective in Delhi?
Well, globally, I think we're all relooking at our budgets. We all are aware of what the situation is. As of now, I think everyone's trying really hard for the tournament to happen. The advantage that cricket has over football is that, you don't need so many stadiums. You could play in 3 or 4 stadiums, and because with football, I mean, Gaurav, correct me if I'm wrong. If you play one day, you still need 3-4 days to get the pitch ready, whereas in cricket, you could play back to back, and T20 being a format, you could play double header, so you can actually play 2 games in one stadium. So even if you look at 3-4 stadiums, we could still get the game back. I know that BCCI have been talking to all the boards. BCCI are trying really hard to make it happen. I mean, the roadmap for cricket's return is being discussed at every level. ICC is also, with the World Cup was supposed to happen in October. They're saying it might get shifted. So if that happens, then that opens up a window for IPL. The advantage again we have is that an IPL could be done over 35 to 37 days as well. So we could get the full number of matches. The only thing is what we might impact is the players, because we don't know what the policy or the strategy would be for the other government. I mean, BCCI with support of the Indian government could definitely talk about the Indian players, but we don't know what an Australian or the English government, what their thinking would be. But again, luckily for us, Jake is in our panel. Rajasthan was the first one who said, look, they really want the game to go on. They're happy to play with with just Indian players as well. So are we, and I think most franchises are. So we haven't yet thought of the impact. I mean, we're working behind the scenes. We're trying to mitigate our losses, but we're all really positive that IPL will happen. We're really hoping that September, October is the window where, provided with safe measures, maybe behind closed doors. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's a toss-up between some cricket or no cricket at all. And also, sport is such a feel-good factor that, it's good sitting at your home, nothing to watch. I mean, I don't think it's ever happened in our life where there's no live sport to watch. So I think everyone's hoping under the ideal conditions if we could get cricket back.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the key considerations is that if the league gets postponed potentially to September or October, what will happen to the ICC calendar? Will a calendar kind of area be carved out for IPL? Will foreign players be able to play, and so on? So there's obviously a lot of questions, but one thing where everything is hinting is that there will be at least some sort of a containment of what a regular IPL typically looks like, right?
Absolutely.
And
Sorry.
So what I wanted to ask was that is the governing bodies like ICC and other boards also on board with potentially getting the league, or they are on loggerheads with regards to managing their own priorities and not looking at IPL?
No, so what is basically happening is everybody's together. Everyone is together in this, and you have to work together to, get some kind of action back. So it'll be every series is being affected. The bilateral series are being affected. So it'll basically sit with ICC and all. So the chief executive committee, which is all the CEOs of all the boards, they've been regularly having calls. They've been regularly discussing as to how to pan out, to be fair to everyone. So I think it'll be IPL followed by a lot of bilateral series, followed by the T20 World Cup. So it just have to be more cramped. But I don't think the fans will complain, because at least you get to watch something.
Not at all. And Jake, of course, Rajasthan faces the same issues as Delhi, and so as other franchises. But players are in the forefront of all this, right? So there'll have to be lots of, if I can say, even sacrifices that the players will have to make, potentially playing a lot more number of games in a shorter period of time, or even making some compromises with regards to their commercial relationships or contractual relationships with the franchisees. So how do you ensure that you protect the players, not just the Indian players, but all the players in your roster, and their salaries are protected or their jobs are protected? What's your view on that?
Sure. So I think during this current sort of 2 to 3 month period, the most important thing for us is to make sure the players are in the best physical and mental space possible. It's a massive contrast to go from playing almost every day to being stuck in home. Often, like, the Indian boys don't have the full gym facilities, they don't have outdoor nets, so they're quite restricted. So it's just making sure they're engaged, and we're in constant touch with them on that. With regards to the IPL, I can't really comment on commercial sacrifices. I think if the IPL happens, then that's the most important thing for India as a whole and global cricket. I think the multiplier effect the IPL has on global cricket is so important. All the other industries it benefits, through to grassroots cricket in India, because then that money comes through from the broadcasters of the BCCI and spreads out into women's cricket as well. So I think, the IPL, as Dheeraj said, the IPL has got a huge impact on the 800 million fans who watch it, giving them something to be passionate about, but also to the economies of not only our cricket community, but also the global cricket communities who will all benefit from it happening. So I think it's on a financial basis, it's the first time we've been happy not to be able to own a stadium. And it's the first time we've been happy to have a shorter, more flexible IPL and have a governing body and company like BCCI who have the experience of being able to put on a tournament with very little notice. So I think that, that's why we've got full confidence in them and all the boards to come together and find a solution for the IPL.
Yeah, but as you look at potentially plan ahead in an eventuality that either the league doesn't happen or league is highly curtailed, are you looking at alternate revenue sources or different areas of how you can recover some of the losses that you might be making this year in an eventuality that the league doesn't happen? Or it's a little premature for that right now?
Well, we're continuously doing reviews of our full business strategy given the situation. As Paul said originally, we've got to be very fluid and flexible. The nice thing is, I think within the IPL, we're quite startup in nature in terms of our businesses, so we can adapt quite well to the different situations. So yes, of course, you're investing a lot of time and money in digital to engage with your fans, but we still believe the long-term strategy isn't going to change. Hence, we've just got to get the balance right, not to commit too much resource and funds in something completely new. We want to keep the fans fully engaged, keep the players ready to perform when the IPL hopefully happens, and be prepared, obviously, if it doesn't happen, to be financially solvent through the year.